Do you know this Tag Heuer watch? Tag Heuer is a household name within the watch industry. The Tag Heuer Carrera is somewhat of an icon when it comes to chronographs, even mentioned among the Rolex Daytona or even the Omega Speedmaster. And I've done multiple videos on the brand, which you can check out right here. But today we're not going to talk about an automatic or manual wound movement. We're actually going back in time to talk about the time when the quartz crisis was heavily hitting the watch industry, and a time where Tag took over Heuer to become Tag Heuer. So let's go back to 1986, because this was the time the Formula 1 Tag Heuer was launched. It was a time where Tag and Heuer were heavily invested in sponsoring Formula 1 teams. And from this history evolved the Tag Heuer Formula 1, a fun, quirky quartz watch. It still was the time of the quartz crisis, a time where cheap, very precise watches were hitting the markets, a challenging time for mechanical movements and automatic watches, and especially the Swiss watch industry. But it was also the time Swatch was right at the forefront of creating quartz watches within Switzerland. So it was great that a different brand, Tag Heuer, started creating quartz watches themselves as well. And this Tag Heuer Formula 1 is just a sentiment to times that were fun, and colors and different kinds of materials were actually seen as interesting. So what is the Formula 1 watch all about? Well, it was created in 1986 and it was designed by Eddie Burgena, and it featured an innovative new way of casing watches. The inner case with the movement was made out of steel, and the outer case was made out of fiberglass. Then there was a playfulness with colors and different iterations of it. The watch came in two different sizes, a more ladies themed size of 28 millimeters in case diameter, and a more unisex kind of size with 34 millimeters. The one that I have here is in 34 millimeters. This is a later version of it, the second generation actually. This already features a steel case, not only the steel inner case, but also the steel outer case. The bezel is still made out of fiberglass in this very neon orange colorway. And colors were actually the theme of these Formula 1 watches. They came in various different color variants. The watches featured at first a plastic cut to size strap, and then with the steel cases came steel bracelets. Luckily for me, the 34 millimeter model has a lug width of 18 millimeters and a simple straight attachment, which means that I can try out different kinds of watch straps. The watch has a case diameter of 34 millimeters, a water resistancy of 200 meters, which is quite interesting for this type of watch, a quartz movement. This already features the ETA movement. The watch also has a date and a unidirectional turning bezel. The watch also has a quick set function for the date, which is very nice and very convenient, and it has a thickness of around 9 millimeters. I usually don't tend to wear that many quartz watches. I do recommend Swatch a lot. I do have my Cartier Tank Must, which is also quartz, but there's something easy and something fun with these types of watches. They tend to be available in more colors, they're more accessible. Currently, if you have around about 500 euros, you can get one of these. They're hard to find. A watch that's running well, has a good condition, isn't that easy to find. You will have to look. But if you're in the US or in Japan, well, then you might be a bit more lucky than me here in Austria. These aren't easy to come by. This particular watch is from my father's collection. I found it a couple of days ago, noticed that the watch wasn't running, and with the recent relaunch of the Formula 1 watches from the late 80s and early 90s, with the collaboration between Tag Heuer and Kith, I figured I'd give this watch a try. Noticed the watch a couple of times, seeing it on my father's wrist and seeing it in his collection, but never did I pay a lot of attention to it. But today, let's swap out the battery, get it back up and running, swap out the strap because the strap was a black leather strap, didn't look really nice, and let's pair it with this Hawaii shirt. And that makes for a great pair of outfit and watch to match the current season. Being summer, I'm probably not going to take this watch for a swim, but it's going to look good, and a little pop of color doesn't do anyone any harm. This watch is on a vintage Stingray strap. We found this strap in our manufacturer, and we thought that this would match the vibe of the watch perfectly, so we put it on. But if you want to give this watch a little bit more of a sporty look, then why not try out a rubber strap like the Hirsch Nayet strap that we released just a couple of weeks ago. This makes the watch even more sporty and brings out the orange colors even more. If you have one of these at home, or your parents or your grandparents even have one of these at home, go to your local watchmaker, change the battery, pick out a strap from our collection in 18 millimeters, put it on the wrist. You're going to spike a conversation with watch collectors around the globe. You don't see these types of watches around a lot. Having a pop of color is just extremely nice and cool. I like it a lot. I'm going to enjoy wearing this watch until I have to give it back to my dad. But I'm already hunting for more colorways of this particular watch, and I'm very intrigued to learn more about it. The collaboration between Tag Heuer and Kith definitely put this Tag Heuer Formula 1 back on my map. So now I have one more watch in my arsenal to recommend if they're looking for a watch under €1,000 that is fun and a little bit different than the normal pieces I usually recommend. That's it for today. If you want to watch 2 other videos on Tag Heuer, here are 2 for you to check out. And leave a comment down below if you have one of these 80s and 90s Tag Heuer Formula 1 watches. Please don't forget to subscribe, and as always, if you feel like it, put a thumbs up. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.